Okay, welcome to the morning meditation. I'm Dr. Roni, and I'm here to guide you through a meditation which is all about releasing physical and emotional pain. We know that suffering is a result of a story we tell about pain that we may experience physically or emotionally. When you let go of the story, you let go of the suffering. And what's left is the pain that you can simply allow to be and release. So, part of this meditation is to really get you present to any physical pain you may be experiencing or any emotions that you are experiencing that may not be pleasant. The way to just be with them and allow them to just be is the way to release them. I invite each of you, under the sound of my voice, to simply take a few deep breaths and become fully present. With each breath, become more and more present to your body, to your emotions, to anything that is within you in this moment. Take another deep breath and just notice your thoughts. Notice the thoughts that are moving through your headspace. Notice the emotions that are moving through your body. And just notice any sensations that you feel throughout your body. So remember, I remind you that pain is simply an experience. You can release suffering when you stop telling a story about whatever pain you may experience. And in releasing the story, you simply allow the pain to be, and eventually it moves and goes away, just like the wind or ocean wave, it just moves. So in this meditation, I'm going to guide you through a set of affirmations, a set of statements that I invite you to just allow to be. In this moment, I invite you to experience your body fully. Notice if you feel any pain anywhere in your body, temple, starting with your feet, moving through your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your abdominal region, right below, right above your rib cage, your breast area, your shoulders, your neck, your throat, your mouth, your nose, your forehead, and the top of your crown. Now we're going to do another scan, starting with the top of your head, going down to your forehead. If you experience any pain, any sensation, just allowing it to be and just run right through you. Starting with the top of your head, going to your forehead, your eyebrows, just relaxing them. Just if you experience any pain, just let it be. Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your chin. Keep releasing, letting it go. Your throat, your shoulders, your breasts, chest area, underneath your chest, your breastbone area, your belly, your lower abdominal, your hip region, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Right now, I invite you to be fully present with your whole body and just do a mental scan of every single part of your body and just letting any pain go. Don't resist it. Don't indulge it. Just let it be. And as you let it be, I invite you to see your pains, any physical pain, even a slight discomfort, as just waves in the ocean. Look at them just as signals and allowing yourself to just let it be. Knowing that who you are is not your pain, it's just an occurrence. Just like all occurrences, they will come and go if you do not resist. What you resist persists. What you allow releases. And what you fully embrace transforms. And as you release any experience of pain, just be mindful of being fully present, fully human in this moment. And so now, just as we did with our body, We're going to do a similar scan of our chakras. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And we're going to start with our root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine. It provides the foundation on which we build our life, representing safety, security, and stability. If there's any imbalance in this chakra, it will be experienced as scattered energies, anxiety, and fear. So I invite you to just be with your root chakra. And if you experience any imbalance, just let it go. For some of you, you can put your hand on your root chakra. It's at the base of your spine. And just let it be. Now we're going to move to our sacral chakra, which is our second chakra. It is located below the navel. It represents creative and sexual energies. Any imbalance in your sacral chakra, you experience it as repressed creativity, sexual dysfunction, withheld intimacy, and emotional isolation. If you experience any of these, I want you to just bring your mind's eye to your sacral chakra and just allow it to be, opening it up and releasing any imbalance. Just let it be and let it go. Now we move to our third chakra, which is the solar plexus. It is located below the chest. Just bring your mind's eye below the chest. It represents self-esteem, pleasure, willpower, and personal responsibility. If there's any imbalance in this chakra, it will show up as low self-esteem, control issues, manipulative tendencies, and a misuse of power. So I invite you in your mind's eye to just bring light and love to the third chakra. And if you're experiencing any of these imbalances, I invite you to simply let them go. Just release. Now I would like you to move to your fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is located in the center of the chest. It represents love, self-love, and governs our relationships. Imbalances in the fourth chakra show up as depression, difficulty in relationships, and lack of self-discipline. I invite you to just in your mind's eye, shine some bright light, white light onto your heart chakra. And if there's any imbalance that shows up as depression, difficulty in relationships, or lack of self-discipline, I invite you to let these go. Release them, let them go. Don't resist them. Don't try to fix them. Just let them be and let it go. And now I invite you to move to your throat chakra, which is located at the center of your neck. It represents the ability to speak and communicate clearly and effectively. Imbalances in your throat chakra will show up as a sense of shyness, being withdrawn, arrogance, and increased anxiety. So I invite you, as you bring light to your fifth chakra, if you see any of these imbalances showing up, I just invite you to release them. Don't try to fix, change, just acknowledge and release. Bring bright light to your chakra. See it opening up, see it releasing. And now in your mind's eye, I invite you to go to your third eye, which is your sixth chakra, which is located in the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows. This chakra represents intuition, foresight, and is driven by openness and imagination. Imbalance in this chakra shows up as lack of direction and lack of clarity. So I invite you in your mind's eye to bring white light to your third eye, your sixth chakra. And if you experience any lack of clarity or lack of direction, I invite you to let it go. Like waves in an ocean, it's gone, it's released, it's flowing out of you, and it is becoming balanced. Now we move to the crown chakra, which is located at the top of the head. It represents states of higher consciousness and divine connection. Imbalances in this chakra show up as cynicism, disregarding what is sacred, closed-mindedness, and disconnection with spirit. So in this moment, I invite you to bring your mind's eye to the top of your head and show some light, bright white light to the top of your head. And if there's any experience of cynicism, disregarding of the sacred, any places where you're closed-minded, judgmental, or disconnected with who you are, spirit, I invite you to let that go. Just shine a light and just let it go. So now what we will do is we will start with the head chakra, and I will give you an affirmation for each of the chakras. Now that they are clear and imbalances are removed, I now invite you to implant a divine idea that relates to each chakra. So I'm gonna go back to the root chakra. And I invite you to just say, I am peaceful, protected, and secure. I am peaceful, protected, and secure. I am peaceful, protected, and secure. Now I invite you to move to your solar plexus, your second chakra. Now that it is clear, I invite you to say, I am beautiful and strong. In your mind's eye, just mentally to yourself, I am beautiful and strong. I am beautiful and strong. Now I invite you to go to your third chakra, your sacral chakra. And say, I am positively empowered and successful. I am positively empowered and successful. I am positively empowered and successful. Now we move to our heart chakra. And we say to ourselves, I give and receive love unconditionally. I give and receive love unconditionally. I give and receive love unconditionally. Moving to your throat chakra. My thoughts are positive and I speak truthfully. My thoughts are positive and I speak truthfully. My thoughts are positive and I speak truthfully. Moving to your third eye chakra, your forehead. I am tuned into universal wisdom. I am tuned into universal wisdom. I am tuned in to universal wisdom. We're going to take a deep breath and move up to the top of the head, the crown chakra, and say to ourselves, I am one with the energy of the divine. I am one with the energy of the divine. I am one with the energy of the divine. So as we end this meditation, our bodies and our energies are balanced. Any pain has been released. Any imbalances are gone, and we are fully present as a whole physical, emotional, and spiritual being. We are at one, and so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Good morning, and happy Sunday. Woo. In order to help with our new method of recording our service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Our speaker today is Senior Minister Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Teporah. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Dr. Roni Ellington. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashlee Goldman and Faith Moore. Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them come and hang out with us. Yes, we would. Before Dr. Roni grounds us in prayer, let me share this about her. Dr. Roni Ellington is a mathematics education professor, inspirational speaker, and STEM education scholar and mentor. Dr. Roni has spent the last 18 years cultivating herself as a teacher, speaker, scholar, and personal development expert. Trained as a mathematics educator, Dr. Roni has authored several scholarly articles on STEM education, parental involvement, and successfully navigating the STEM pipeline, particularly for minority students. As a co-owner in Evoke Life, Dr. Ellington is an expert on transformation, learning, and personal mastery. As a licensed practitioner, she is committed to bringing this teaching to the masses through teaching and is extremely grateful to serve this community in whatever way is aligned with her spiritual mission. Thank you, Dr. Roni.
Thank you. So as we begin this church service, I just want to say I'm excited that we're here and gathered. And I just invite us all to just, in our mind's eye, think of each and every person on this service. It's about 22 people on now, that we're holding hands and we're in one big circle. And we just see each other's smiling faces. In our mind's eye, we know that we are one in spirit and we are one in this community. We may be in different, disparate physical locations, but we are one. So I just invite you to just hold each other's hands in your eye and just look at each other and just bless each and every person who is here today. And it is in that space of just oneness, that circle, that unending circle of love and peace and hope. We just start this service today, knowing that as we engage fully in this service as a community, as one, we actually fulfill the prophecy. We fulfill on peace on earth, goodwill towards men. We create heaven on earth as a state of being, as a state of consciousness, because we are at one with the principle of love. We are at one with the law, and we are at one with each other. So it is in this space of this circle of love, this circle of light, this circle of healing, that we begin today's service of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, because Baltimore really is greater because we're here. We not only represent different geographical aspects of Baltimore, we represent a consciousness of Baltimore that is greater, that is higher, that is more loving, more peaceful, more joyous than it was before we joined together as one. Because as the Bible says, when two or more are gathered, I am here. And as metaphysicians, we know what that means, because energy is always multiplied. So we multiply the energy of love and peace and joy. We see ourselves united and connected by the principles of science of mind, by the principles of oneness, by the principles of consciousness and conscious creation. And it is in that spirit that we join together in this service. We know that the word will be coming through And as Reverend Raymont, but as we listen to the word, we embody the word, because there's only one mind, there's only one consciousness. So we just invite each other. We listen not only for ourselves and our own gratification and our own sustenance, we do it for the community. We do it for our CSL Greater Baltimore community. We do it for Greater Baltimore, for the United States, for North America, and for the world. Because we know that the energy that we are creating in this service is a light for the world. And so we bring this consciousness to our listening. We infuse our listening in a way that gives rise to the best in us. And that is who we are. And that is how we listen. And we are just so grateful and honored to have Reverend Raymont as an instrument, as a vehicle for Spirit's voice, but we are Spirit's ears as we listen. So in your mind's eye, I just invite you to hug each other as if we were in person. Hug people virtually. Give them a hug in your mind's eye as we sit down and listen and bring our full attention to this service. So this service is now open, not only opened, but we are opened to the service. Amen and Ashlee.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Roni. At this time, the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the diversity of all religions as represented by this ceremony. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Buddhism is the path of compassion and cessation of suffering. Christianity is the path of love and forgiveness. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God. Judaism is the path of living by sacred law. Indigenous spirituality is the path of honoring the earth and all life. Shintoism is the path of ritual, veneration of kami, and honoring nature. Taoism is the path of ultimate reality through balance. Unitarian Universalist is the path of social justice and sacred activism. Science of mind and spirit is the path of awakening one's spiritual magnificence in accord with love and law. The heart. The heart represents our love for and unity with all life. Happy Pride! Woo! June is Pride Month. In recognition of LGBTQ pride, here is some history for you. The rainbow flag, which has become a universal symbol of hope for LGBTQ people around the world, first flew in San Francisco's United Nations Plaza for Gay Pride Day on June 25th, 1978. It had 8 colors, 2 more than today's version, and was designed by Gilbert Baker, an openly gay artist and activist. He had been tasked to design a symbol for the LGBTQ community by his friend Harvey Milk, who was the first openly gay elected official in California. Did you know that there are many versions of the rainbow flag? I am displaying some of them. I will share what the colors of the original flag means. Red represents life. Orange represents healing. Yellow represents sunlight. Green represents nature. Blue represents harmony. And purple represents spirit. I encourage you to go online and learn more. I sure have learned a lot doing my research. All right, so it is that time of service that I have some announcements for you. For you, not for you, but for you. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. First and third Monday nights, you can hang out with the Sacred Contracts Book Club hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. Slide on down to Wednesday nights with the Science of Mind textbook exploration group facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And move a little further on Thursday nights with the study group facilitated by practitioner Dr. Roni Ellington. The Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. Interested in a community camping trip? A CSLGB getaway? Sue Italiano is checking to see if there is any interest. If so, send her an email at sueitaliano@gmail.com. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has some upcoming classes. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Roni Ellington. If you are interested in taking foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Once 4 or more people express a desire, a Saturday class will be scheduled. Conversations about race. Racial literacy as a spiritual practice. Every second Wednesday of the month, 7 to 9 p.m. A year-long journey of experiencing racial literacy as a spiritual practice. As Centers for Spiritual Living holds the vision of creating a world that works for everyone as our beacon. Our spiritual work is in examining our thinking, both our personal thoughts and those passed on to us in a collective, socialized manner. The required reading is A Race is a Nice Thing to Have. This is a guide to being a white person or understanding the white persons in your life by Janet E. Helms. Love offerings gratefully appreciated. For more information, contact practitioner Rebecca Arena Beal from CSL Columbia at 410-340-4805 or send an email to bella358@comcast.net. The Essential Ernest Holmes, facilitator, practitioner Eugene Holden. If you're interested in registering, contact Sue Monahan. This class starts on Thursday, July 6th. The times are 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information about the course, contact Eugene at eugeneholden.net. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com to find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. Would you like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray? If so, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did. For those of you joining us for the first time, and to serve as a reminder for others, on the count of 3, we shout, prayer works. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! All right, that was loud. I like that. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet. There we go. Knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time, and that is at any time, via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Our musician today, Teporah, is formally trained in composition, piano, and songwriting at Oberlin and Peabody Conservatories, as well as in Towson State's jazz program. She was raised in a musical family with an oboe-toting, guitar-picking mom, and the music of the 60s and 70s to feed her soul. From Odetta to Debussy to Armenian rhythm, her music is imbued with a uniquely inspired fusion of musical influences. Teporah blends these together to breathe originality and life into her body of spiritually centered compositions and songs under the moniker Love Rising. Teporah's newest project is with a music licensing agency out of LA, where she is building a career in the TV, film, and ads world. I give you Teporah.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Roni. Beautiful service. Some of you are going to sing along with me on this one from wherever you are, from your bed. Do everything, turn, 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 turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, time to reap, a time to season turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away the stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rent, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
Thank you, Teporah. All right. Now, Dr. Roni will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Thank you. So as I contemplated the topic of today, I went to the Science of Mind textbook and I got a reading around healing. And I just wanted to share this. So the spiritual practice is really listening with open ears and open hearts to what Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook. And it's entitled, Healing is Clear Thinking. Healing is the result of clear thinking and logical reasoning, which presents itself to consciousness and is acted upon by it. It is a systemic process of reasoning which unearths the mental cause or idea underlying dis-ease and presents the truth about man's being, thereby healing him. For instance, say to yourself, God is all there is. There is only one life. When you are treating, if there is any little point that is not clear, stop at once and go back to the last analysis of ultimate reality and absoluteness and build your whole argument upon it in order to get a clear consciousness. Repeat, God is all. There is only one power, intelligence, and consciousness in the universe, only one presence. Now that one presence cannot change. There is nothing for it to change into but itself. It is changeless and it is my life now. It is in me now. Claim that no form of race suggestion, belief in limitation, subjective idea or limit of limitation, thought of karma, fatalism, theology, or hell, horoscope, or any such beliefs have power. Accept none of them. If you have ever believed in them, if you have ever believed that stars govern you, or that your environment governs you, or that your opportunities govern you, if you have ever been led to believe that by any one of them, of these things govern you, recognize that it is a hypnotic condition in which you have fallen, and deny every one of them until there is no longer anything in you that believes them. This is the way to get consciousness clear, get your consciousness clear. You see what it does. It induces a clear concept of reality, which must reproduce itself. This process of clear thinking, if carried out every day, will heal any disease because it will bring a complete recognition of life.
Thank you, Dr. Roni. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Reverend Rev, there you go. You are welcome very much.
Good morning and greetings, everyone. So our topic for today, well, the topic for the month is the idea of the soul's call. What is the soul calling itself into greater expansive awareness of being? And specifically today, we're diving into this idea of pain. And what does it mean to be pushed by pain? And pain is one of those things like we really don't like. And in New Thought, we often bypass pain and deny pain. And we don't do what Dr. Roni led us in the pre-service meditation to be present to it and move through it so that it can be healed. But today, let's jump deeper in to what it means to be pushed by pain. Suppose we didn't deny or avoid pain, but rather embraced it as an invitation to higher consciousness, deeper love, and the opportunity to be more resolute to faith in action. I believe everything is as real as it is supposed to be. If a person hurts, they hurt. There is no use in denying it. There's no use in denying when we hurt. You have a toothache, you can say, I'm fine, I'm good, all you want, but it's still gonna hurt. So why deny it? Be present to it. Recognize it hurts. And if it hurts, what you are ultimately saying is, I ultimately want this pain to stop. I ultimately want to move through this. And it's important for us to understand what pain is then. So pain is a general term that describes some form of uncomfortable sensations in the body. It stems from the activation of the nervous system. Pain can range from being mildly annoying to excruciating and debilitating. It shows up in a variety of ways, and it's important for us to be aware that pain isn't just physical. Pain can show up and be experienced in a variety of ways. And it's important to recognize, it's important to accept, it's important to be present to all of the ways that it shows up. I mean, think about the number of people who feel a pain and they're like, yeah, I'm not going, I ain't going to the doctor. Nope. Why? Because we are afraid that if we go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, well, this is the experience, we're like, darn it, I knew I shouldn't have gone. But not going doesn't change the fact that the pain is there. It doesn't change the fact that the pain is signaling that the doctor can do something to remedy what you're going through. But oftentimes what we do is we suppress it, we deny it, we denounce it without giving it the space to say, wait a minute, if there is pain, then the pain is saying something to me. It is indicating something to me. Let me be aware of the indication. In the same way that someone sends you an invitation. You don't say, oh, it's an invitation, and you throw it down. You're like, what am I being invited to? Am I being invited to a wedding? Am I being invited to a graduation? What is this invitation? If we give pain the space to be aware of what are we being invited to know about our experience, the world of our experience shifts. Science of Mind says we have within us a power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. Every obstacle. Take that in. Every obstacle. Science of Mind also says every problem is primarily mental, and the answers to our problems will be found in spiritual realizations. Now, in order for us to really go where this is inviting us to go, one, do not assume that, oh, it's just mental. It's all in your mind. That's only a small piece of the concept, right? So if you say, oh, well, racism, the pains of racism, it's all in your mind. Stop thinking about it and it disappears. No, it is a fact. What did Ernest Holmes say in that other slide? We do not deny that this, what is real is real. If someone hurts, they hurt. There is no point in denying it. But in order for us to transcend, transmute, transform the experience, we have to understand that everything begins in consciousness and go to the place of consciousness to transform it. Mind, or that which is mental, equals the total expression of your being and consciousness. So when we say thoughts, change your thinking, change your life, we're not just talking about what's going on in your brain, in your mind with just your thoughts. Change your thinking, in other words, change your mind, in other words, change your entire being. Change the entire consciousness of your being, and your life will change. Breathe that in. Ernest Holmes says in this thing called life, everything that is wrong in our experience, whether we call it pain, sickness, poverty, or unhappiness, is a denial of the allness of God. And breathe that in. So whatever it is, on some level, there is something that is blocking, something that is denying, something that is unaware of the allness of God. Because the moment our consciousness, our way of being, expands and opens to understand the allness of God, there is no space, therefore, to also be abundant and poverty-stricken. There is no space to be both someone who is a victim and that which is victorious. Now, you can be someone who is completely, absolutely an experience of health and well-being and have moments of experiencing illness, etc. But we know that that is not therefore the truth of our being. So we no longer feel the call to say, I am sick. I am, right? We understand that I am whole, perfect, and complete, even while experiencing the flu. I am whole, perfect, and complete, even while searching for, manifesting, creating, whatever words we're going to use, my next right and perfect career or job. I am whole, perfect, and complete, even while taking medication for this migraine that I'm experiencing, or the high blood pressure that I'm experiencing. I know that my wholeness, my perfection, and my completeness are the eternal truth of my being, and that this migraine, the flu, the joblessness, those are temporary, factual experiences that I choose, in aligning with the truth of my being, I must see them for what they are and move through it and acknowledge it, but understand that it's not the truth of my being. It's true that today is Monday. It's true that today is Wednesday. It's true that today is a holiday. Like, it's true whatever the day is. It's true that it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's true that it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's true that, but understand that the truth of my being is infinite, eternal, and beyond time and space, even while being within the bracket of Sunday morning, Friday afternoon, 55 years old. When we acknowledge the allness of God, the expansiveness of creation moves in us, through us, and as us. So when we look around the world, we ask ourselves, what is the condition that we are seeking to shift and change? Because it's not just about I, me. It's about we. Why did Dr. Roni say in the opening invocation, envision yourself reaching out to the collective and giving a cyber hug, a virtual hug, a mental, spiritual hug to each other in the community? Because there is we. We are CSL Greater Baltimore. We are CSL. We are spirit showing itself in each individualized expression. So when we look at the world, when we look at how anyone in the world is experiencing what they're experiencing, our understanding is, what is the diagnosis? Oh, I see war, racism, colorism, xenophobia. Gotcha. Now, once you know the diagnosis, because this is what practitioners do, what is the thing that you seek treatment regarding? I seek it regarding dis-ease or illness. There is the diagnosis, the factual experience that you are experiencing. And then what? And then the practitioner grounds and anchors and understands there is nothing that needs to be healed, only truth to be revealed. So when we see racism, sexism, homophobia, when we see that as the diagnosis of the world, of the individual, what is the truth we are being invited to know about that pain? And in knowing the truth, what are we then called to do? So if we understand and recognize that the allness of God is love and life, is power and presence, then the truth means having and demonstrating the faith to move through, to be someone who is so at peace that when you see or hear of war or rumors of war, your mind immediately, your consciousness immediately, your being immediately grounds in peace, serenity, harmony, the isness and allness of God, and that vibration is what ripples out around the planet and beyond. There's no need for us to sit in and marinate in the, oh my God, it's so horrible. Give yourself a couple of days to marinate in that, but then recognize that what the world needs now is this truth. What the world needs now, as Jackie DeShannon says, love. The world has it because it's what God is. So we say, we sing, she sings. What the world needs now, what the world needs is to activate, to let this love be the thing that moves us forward. It's already present. It's in the air we breathe. Not just for some, but for everyone. The love is present because God is present. So what the world needs now, what our invitation to know is, know the truth. Move as the truth. Know it. Know the allness of God. Practice the allness of God and let that be the faith that moves us through whatever the painful experience is. Howard Thurman says, the ability to know what is right, the ability to know what is the right thing to do in any given circumstance is a sheer gift of God. To know what is the right thing to do, to know what is yours to do in any given situation is the gift that God is giving itself as you. So let's pause and look at our life, our circumstances. Where is there currently some feeling of pain, physical pain, emotional pain, financial pain? However we are referring to this thing called pain? Is there some sociological pain where we are empathic enough to feel the pain of people half a planet away? That we feel the pain of our transgender siblings who are being tortured and murdered at an alarming rate? That we feel the empathicness, the empathic cry of solidarity. So it may not be our physical pain, it may not be our emotional pain, but we are open enough to recognize that when anyone hurts, we all hurt. When anyone suffers, we all suffer. So pausing and listening, where is there a diagnosis of pain, disorder, dis-ease, anywhere in the body of God? And what is mine to do? What is the right thing for me to do regarding that? As I look around and I am able to identify, then you go to the doctors and they're like, on a pain scale, 10 being excruciating and you can't do anything, where do you feel the pain? Where do you feel the pain of racism? Where do you feel on the scale? Where do you feel the pain of homophobia and transphobia? Where do you feel the pain of what's going on in Palestine and Israel? Where do you feel the pain of oppression? The various massacres that are now starting to be recognized, such as Tulsa. Where do you feel the pain of the 215 Indigenous children's bodies found in Canada? Where do you feel? Do you feel no pain? Mild pain, severe pain. Where do you feel it? Because when you feel it, you are more inspired to alleviate it, to eliminate it, to heal it. And we breathe. We breathe and ground and anchor, because that's a lot to take in. But we also understand and recognize that some pain is desired. Some pain is wanted. Some pain is encouraged. Tracy would disagree.
Yes.
But when we go to the gym, there is a pain. If you study martial arts, there is a pain. If you study ballet, gymnastics, there is a pain that pushes you through the threshold from novice, beginner, to expert. Are we willing to step into and recognize of these various pains that I see, feel, experience? Which ones are the ones that are moving me from novice to expert? Which ones are the ones that are calling me to heal? Because we dare not say that racism is a necessary pain that is moving humanity to its next greater yet to be. Bullshit. Anyone that says that that God needs to allow a part of itself to be massacred and murdered and oppressed so that God can evolve and elevate is spiritual bypass and malpractice. Why would God need to let God die so that God can be more of God? Humans who do not understand the allness of God are the ones who created racism, sexism, and homophobia. Humans who do not understand the spiritual laws and principles of love and light and power that we speak about and teach about. Humans who are accustomed to denying and being usurpers of power, not God. So on the grand scale of that which is the infinite I am, there is no need for God to say, or for God to show up as the Klan, the neo-Nazi, the terrorist, the microaggressions, oh girl, can I just touch your hair? There is no need for God to show up in that form for its own elevation and expansion. That's what people do. People who do not know, people who choose to bypass and deny the knowing. Because there are those who know that there are other options and they choose to ignore the other options. In the same way that there are those who have that toothache and refuse to go to the dentist. There are those who are racist and sexist, and they know, but they choose to maintain the status quo. Our call here in this moment is to serenity prayer, the prayer of knowing that which I can change, that which I can heal, that which is mine to do. I choose to do it. I choose to put my faith to work. There are those things that are not, it's not mine to do. And then there are those, how do I know the difference? What can I change? Change it. What can I not change? Surrender. How do I know the difference? Be present. I cannot force Tracy to work out. That is not mine to do. I can encourage her. That I can do. This I cannot. But if I get them mixed up, then I am now sticking my nose in business that is not mine to stick my nose in. At which point Tracy checks me. Dude, I will work out when I choose to work out, not when you choose to tell me to work out. Back off. Same spiritual practice in all things around the planet. How do we ground ourselves and know the difference? How do we step into the necessary pain? How do we engage in holy confrontations, knowing that there will be pain involved, there will be discomfort, and yet those holy conversations and those blessed boundaries are necessary parts of radical self-care and global transformation. Tracy Brown, our guest speaker from last week, said, pain can be your motivation for a breakdown, a breakup, or a breakthrough. What do you choose? Because each moment we get to choose. Because if we experience it, we experience it. That is a fact. But how we move through it is our choice. Toothache, I didn't choose. Dear God, give me a toothache today. If I have a toothache, then I have a toothache. I'm experiencing a toothache. Hey, don't mock me stuttered for a second, Tracy. If I have a toothache, I have a toothache. It is what it is. But what I choose to do about it, how do I choose to resolve it, is always my choice. Righteous judgment, that discernment. How do I discern and move forward with ease, grace, and the wisdom to be able to identify the pain? Because we cannot treat what we will not acknowledge. Identify, is it desired or undesired pain? What do I need to do to change it, alleviate it, eliminate it, transcend it? And then just do it. Do the practices that will bring truth to my experience and to the experience of all. Kenji Miyazawa says, we must embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey. Which reminds me of the Viktor Frankl quote, that which is to give light must endure burning. We must embrace the pain, be present to it, and allow its flames to burn, allow it to be the fuel that pushes us along our journey. Naval Ravikant, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Naval Ravikant said, pain is a fact, suffering is a choice. Pain is a fact. Suffering is a choice. Racism is a fact. How we move through it, acknowledge it, and recognize that. Pause for a second. So Tracy and I just finished watching High on the Hog. I don't know if Fifi's online, but I know she watched it too because she posted on Facebook about it. And so here's this idea that people were taken from Africa, brought to the United States of America, forced to become the enslaved, because oftentimes what people say is they brought slaves from, people were brought, individuals were brought and made to be the enslaved. And even in the midst of that, High on the Hog talks about transcending cuisine and the idea of these people, the slaves, were given the throwaways. And what did they do? They elevated it. They made it something that became what we refer to as soul food. So the idea is things happen, facts, pain happens. What do we do with it? Do we do what they chose to do? Do we get this pain? Do we get this oppression? Do we get this thing called poverty? The white supremacist, capitalistic, patriarchal delusion. Do we get it? And what we choose to do with it is transform it so that it is no more. Do we change it, eliminate it, alleviate the need to experience it? Is that what we do? Or do we say, it is what it is, it's what's always been, it's what always will be, this pain in my neck has always been, it will always be, the diabetes in my family has always been, it will always be? Or do we do what the invitation for today is? Do we allow the pain to push us into the next yet greater to be? Yeshua said, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Do we let this pain inspire us to say, it hurts, and I want the hurt, I want the pain to stop? Then what am I invited to know? What truth am I invited to know? What aspect of the allness of God am I invited to embody and practice moment by moment? The Dalai Lama says, there is a saying in Tibetan, tragedy should be utilized as a source of strength. No matter what sort of difficulties, how painful the experience is, if we lose our hope, that is the real disaster. If we lose our ability to practice transcending, to practice truth, to practice the law of mind in action, if we lose our ability to practice it, that is the real disaster. So in this moment, we breathe and allow this to marinate and understand that we have a practice, we have a way of moving through this. We have a practice that helps us transcend, to be present to it, to acknowledge it, and to heal it. Marcus Aurelius says, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. You have the power to revoke it. You have the power to say, Satan, get thee behind me. Same thing Yeshua said in the desert. Look, dude, all these lies and stuff you are trying to convince me of, get thee behind me. Racism, get thee behind me. Become a thing of the past. I am not, as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I am no longer being moved as the tail light. I move as the headlight. I allow the light of my being to move me forward, not move me backwards. I revoke the power of sexism, rape culture, trauma. I revoke its power to move as my truth, because it is not my truth. The allness of God is my truth. Whole, perfect, and complete is my truth. Chakras aligned is my truth. The infinite I am, as the incarnation of God itself, is my truth. And anything that is not my truth, get thee behind me. This week, our practice, as Tracy loves to call it, our homework. Journal and ask yourself, what pains in my life have I currently, or what pains in my life have I in the past, or what am I currently experiencing or witnessing in someone else's experience? So look at past. What have I experienced? What am I currently experiencing? Where am I able to witness in someone else's experience pain? And let me share just briefly. Someone messaged me on Facebook or Instagram, I don't remember, Facebook or Instagram, I don't remember which, and said, when did your mother die? Because I'm tired of seeing posts about it. Say what now? Whoa. As we approach the 1-year anniversary of my mother's transition, say what now? You're tired of me expressing my ability to move through my grief. You're tired. You do know where the unfriend button section option is. So we pause and we breathe, because there are those who will not understand our healing. There are those who will not understand our processes. There are those who will not understand this adventure, this journey, this divine presence that we are. And they will try to back up. Tail lights, back up. Suffer, back up. Status quo, back up. Business as usual. And we get to revoke. Get thee behind me. Number 2, what am I invited to learn about the various pains? What am I being invited to put into practice that I may eliminate or alleviate the pain that I experience or that I am witnessing in another's experience? What is my invitation about this? Am I invited to pray? Am I invited to meditate? Am I invited to be present? Am I invited to cry? Am I invited to take a workshop on what it means, this lie of whiteness that Dr. David Alexander is presenting? Am I invited to read the book, My Grandmother's Hands? What am I invited to know or do about? Am I invited to learn more about the LGBTQ community and the oppression and this horrendous thing called conversion therapy? What am I invited to know, learn, and do? And lastly, whether you create a listening circle or this thing called a human library, create a space where you and someone else, could be a group of people, but you and another share. Meaning, Tracy and I are engaging in this practice, and I simply listen as she shares something from her experience where she feels or has felt or has witnessed pain. And I simply am present to letting her express it. I don't need to try to resolve it. I don't need to try to fix it. I simply let her speak her truth, the truth of her experience, the truth of what she feels in heart, body, mind, spirit. What is, just receive it. And if she wants to engage conversation, then at the end of this, then we can converse about it. But in the beginning, during this practice, simply listen and be present as the person shares. Because we often don't want to listen. Not when it's painful, because it makes us uncomfortable. Reverend Ray's grieving about his mother's transition last year. It makes me uncomfortable. So I want to fix it. I want to shut him up rather than being present. Our declaration and affirmation for this week is, I will say it first and then together. I transform pain into fertilizer for my next greater success. Together, I transform pain into fertilizer for my next greater success. And we breathe As we prepare the stage, we breathe as we prepare our hearts and our spirits for once again the beautiful gift that Teporah now brings unto us with her heart and her spirit and her voice. Thank you, Teporah.
Thank you, Reverend Raymont. Boy, sometimes it's hard to find music that goes along with the speaker's message, and I tried to find songs about pain that were about turning it into something positive. Slightly failed, but I have this lovely song I've played here before called One Day by Modest Yahoo, and he definitely is transforming his pain through all the socio-political issues as well as personal issues, and expressing like the eternal joy that life is supposed to be. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I am breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon. I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars. Children are playing. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood drenched pavement, keep on moving, though the water stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way, and it might drive you crazy, but don't let it faze you. No way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds me, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. And one day, 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 today, one day, one day, one day. 'Cause sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know today it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say that we aren't gonna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play today, 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 today.
Namaste and blessings. Thank you, Teporah. And that is one of my favorite songs, actually. When I performed with the American Sign Language Performance Company, Believe, that was one of our songs, actually. So thank you. So yes, you were successful, even though you said you weren't, but you were. One mind. There's only one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is the same mind that selected that song. So thank you. So we breathe and recognize that at this moment, it is that time of service where we tithe, where we are spiritually fed. We tithe where we are supporting our beloved spiritual community, recognizing that there are a plethora of things that we are choosing to demonstrate and manifest as this community that is CSL Greater Baltimore, that expands into the eastern region of the United States of America and beyond, because we understand that we have had people log in from Canada and England and Jamaica and all kinds of places. So CSL Greater Baltimore is a community that expands, that extends to, that reaches hearts and minds and lives around the planet. And at this moment, we ground and anchor into how we make that happen. So that you know, for those who may be joining us for the first time, the practitioners of CSL Greater Baltimore, in addition to their already scheduled monthly tithing, have pledged an additional $25,000 by the end of this year. And at this moment to date, or as of May 24th rather, there's $7,875. The community's matching fund, also $25,000, as of May 24th, is $775. Notice all those sevens that were in both of those? That means something. So Tracy often says, so remember that you tithe not only where you are spiritually fed, but that you tithe because this is also a business that has lights to be kept on. And once again, for those who are joining us for the first time, we are also currently right now seeking to secure our right and perfect location. So the tithing is also to secure this new building that gives us the ability to do what we choose to do in the community. A spiritual community center that is open to the greater Baltimore area, but specifically being located in Baltimore City proper, being able to help and serve and nourish the spiritual needs, the physical needs of the community. How do you tithe or donate? You have options. PayPal, text to give, or the postal service. Also be aware that you can designate a certain portion of your tithe or donation to scholarships for education, to hospitality, to the emergency care fund, to the practitioners. Like, you can designate a certain portion to anything or anyone. And if you want more information about that, feel free to email myself or anyone on the board of trustees. You can also go to the website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give for more information. Now at this time, let us ground and anchor this truth of prosperity, wealth, and abundance with our declaration. Are you ready? You ready, Tracy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Together.
I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all.
So it is.
And so it is.
And so we ground and rank.
What do we do?
And so we ground and we anchor and recognize the amazing awesomeness of life, recognizing that even in the midst of discomfort and pain, we are no less glorious and powerful beings. We are no less awesome, even when we feel what we feel, called pain, discomfort, dis-ease, disharmony. Our awesomeness is the truth of our being, because As we used to sing when we used to go to Christian church, our God is an awesome God. And Tracy's still singing. Our God is an awesome God, and that which God is the truth of our being. So if our God is an awesome God, then I am, and you are, and we are an awesome God in this individualized, human, spiritual, divine expression. So go out and be the very demonstration of that awesome God. Be it in thought, in word, in deed. Be it. Now, so that you know you have options. If you would like prayer today with our practitioner on duty, or if there are any other practitioners on the call who would also like to assist, type the word prayer in the chat box, and Tracy will create breakout rooms to place you in so you can get prayer. And be mindful and remember that prayer does not have to just be for, I need a new job, I need a new love, I need a new pair of shoes. Prayer can also be for, I love my job and I want more joy in my job. I love my relationship and I want more joy. Like, it can be this and even greater. So it doesn't have to just be when something, is going on. Practitioners help you also know your even greater good. So type prayer in the chat box. Also today, after service with practitioner, I'm going to say Reverend Dr. Roni Ellington. She's probably giving me a look right now. Today with practitioner Dr. Roni Ellington, there is visioning regarding our lives, our center, or whatever it is that we choose to ground and know and allow Spirit to inform through us about our lives, about our community, and about our world. If you would like to participate in this visioning process, type visioning, so Tracy will also know that you are going to stay on for that process as well. So now we ground and we anchor, recognizing that the isness and allness of Spirit, the isness and allness of God is all there is. And so right here in this moment, all of God is breathing itself as each one of us. All of God is loving itself as each one of us. In this moment, all of God is being an awesome God in, through, and as each one of us. And as we anchor to that allness of God showing itself as these incarnations that we call our lives, then we move forward, we transcend, we transform the very fabric of creation, recognizing and demonstrating love, joy, harmony, and a world that works for all. Knowing this, I surrendered into the law of mind and action that receives, accepts, and acts accordingly. And knowing that this word is already answered prayer, together I ask us to touch and agree and say, Aho, Amen, Ashe. And so it is. Love you. Blessings. Have an amazing day.